First, as your pastor, let me thank you for taking the time and making the effort to join us for this important vision gathering today. On behalf of the elders, it is my desire to explain to you what we believe is a critical, strategic, and timely building project and the vision that motivates it. It is our heartfelt and shared hope that when we're finished, you'll be inspired and honored to support this vision with your prayers and your resources. We have chosen to call this vision effort Connecting because we believe that word best captures the full ministry vision of this project. This project is about connecting spaces. It's about connecting our two key ministries buildings for safety and convenience. It's about connecting ministries, and most importantly, it's about connecting lives. It's about helping our community and our guests connect with us by clearly knowing where to go to receive ministry and a warm welcome through an obvious front door. It's about the display of Christian love by helping the physically challenged connect to all levels of our ministry space. Our architects, with a vast wealth of church facility experience, tell us that this connector welcome space with an elevator and children's preschool space, they are foundational for serving our local community. Bottom line, this project is about connecting people to God and to one another for the sake of the gospel. A few months ago at our 2013 annual conference, we shared our belief that God had released us. With the addition of key new staff members, clarity of ministry priority and vision and outreach and discipleship, and a perceived sense of church and leadership unity, the elders shared with you at our church conference our belief that we should now step out in faith and sacrifice for our community and for our future by investing in this project and the ministry potential associated with it. By an overwhelming vote, you affirm that belief and authorize preparations for the necessary vision and building campaign to accomplish this. As your leaders, we now sense God's calling to unite and connect key building spaces and key ministry functions in order to practically love people and serve our entire church family and our local community. We now believe that the Lord is releasing us to unite and build in order to meet these foundational needs as we trust Him by investing and sacrificing together. We believe this, in part, is this generation's ministry legacy to the young and old in our church and to our community. We are so excited for what this project will do for our church and what it will say to our community. The elders are united, the staff is united, the campaign leadership team is excited, and the vision and architectural concept has universally resonated. People sense we need this, and I believe it's time for us to do this. In order to give you an opportunity to experience the proposed project, we wanted you to be able to take a virtual tour through the proposed Connector Welcome Center and the remodeled children's space. Your tour guide will be Dwayne Timothy, our lead architect on this project and designer, who's been a member of this church for 20 years and as an active leader in our ministry thoroughly understands its function and features. For the children's remodeled space, our children's minister, Jonathan Owen, will be your tour guide, and he will explain the valuable upgrades and benefits to this new facility.
It was our honor to work with the church on providing an obvious entrance for the church, an obvious entry door, main entrance, a entry point, practically a covered canopy where people can be dropped off that need that service right at the front door. As you come into the entrance and the connector here, you're welcomed with a welcome desk on the left, the stairwell on the right, an elevator that takes you to all levels of the facility, entry point to the fellowship hall, some gathering area to promote fellowship on each level. Here you see some on the first level. Here's an information desk to orient visitors to our various ministries. And then a wide stair, a welcoming stair, to take you to the main level, and then again to the balcony on the next level up. As you enter the main level, you can see connection to the sanctuary, the existing gathering area, the cafe feature here that provides fellowship opportunity, some areas for gathering and fellowship throughout the connector, creating connection opportunities. Connector to the annex where the children's ministries reside, and then the cafe feature here, again to promote connection relationally as well as visually throughout the facility. The entry tower here also serves as an atrium space, an open space that literally connects the balcony area to the main sanctuary area. Here you see the elevator that connects all three levels, all three main levels of the facility, and really every level to every main building. Here's a connection to the balcony from the main entry connector, and then providing a connection again to the annex, and a major meeting space here with a coffee bar and associated to that. This space will be larger than any of our typical classrooms, holding between 35 and 50. And then on the balcony level, there's a more gathering area. And this overlooks the cafe below and overlooks Tyler and our neighborhood. In summary, this connector and entrance with all its features really provides a front door connecting to our community.
As a children's pastor and as a father, I believe there's no greater investment we can make than to invest in the lives of children. And so it is with great joy that I get to share with you what we've designed for our kids. As you approach our facility, you'll now see a secure zone, a playground for our kids to play with no outside access. That's a fun place for our kids to enjoy the outdoors. As you come into our front door of our church, you're now greeted by an obvious entry point to our nursery, really solving a problem we've had for many years for people who just don't know where our nursery is. As you enter, you'll be greeted by a secure check-in zone with our friendly nursery staff there to help take your children. As you walk down the hallway, a hallway that's almost double the size of our current hallway, you'll see all of our classrooms for each of our age groups. At the end of the hall, you'll see a multi-use activity room, a place for our kids to have their own worship services, have indoor activities, and a number of other uses. There's also an additional kitchenette in the back to help serve snacks and meals to our kids. Off of that hall, there's a second safety escape that leads out into our playground. This playground is a place where kids are no longer required to cross a road or a crosswalk to get to it. Our whole goal in creating this environment was to create a place where kids could grow to become like Christ, a place that was fun and engaging, but also safe and secure. And I think we've done that.
I wanted to personally invite you in advance to set aside Sunday, December 8th for a very special commitment event. That Sunday, we will worship and rehearse our vision of our great God, His unspeakable gift, Jesus Christ, His great calling and our great commitment to that calling. Our church family will collectively express our commitment of resources over the next 3 years, personally and privately, based on each one's sense of conviction, faith, and sacrifice. Following the service, we will enjoy a special dinner together. Finally, I wanted to take the opportunity to let you know at the outset that this effort for me is a matter driven by conviction. A conviction that it is right and necessary to better protect and secure the most vulnerable of our church family and those that our guests entrust to our church to love and care for, our babies and preschool children. Second, a conviction that the physically challenged or disabled ought to have a ready access to our main ministry facility via an elevator. And third, a conviction that those who God brings to our church ought to clearly know where they are welcome and know where to come in order to receive that welcome and needed ministry. This is why Karen and I will be investing our time and our resources in this project. And we are hoping you will too. As I have said, I'm convinced that this in part will be our shared legacy of loving our family and neighbors as we would want to be loved. This effort will take us all believing God and sharing sacrifice for God's glory and for the good of many. To that end, I want to ask you to personally pray for this effort and for God's will to be done, to exercise God-glorifying faith and to trust God to provide more than we could ask or think, to humbly consider what God would want you to do as your part in ministering to people, and to sincerely explore what God may have already given you to invest in this vision. Finally, to joyfully invest your resources, spiritually, generously, and sacrificially, in connecting people to God and to one another, both now and eternally. I am proud to be your pastor and a part of such a wonderful family of faith. I believe in this church. I believe in its heart to serve and its sacrifice. And I believe in our great God to supply all of our need according to His will and His riches in Christ Jesus. I look forward to seeing what God is going to do as we partner together for His glory.